Hello and welcome, this is Ruth and I'm back with another video for Tonic Studios today, and this is the special edition showcase called Sew Crafty, and it's one of their Cyber Week launches. It is really beautiful. So this is it all sitting in front, well not all of it, there's actually a wallet as well which I don't have but you will get with it, that will keep all this in one place together for you. So what I've got here anyhow is this beautiful die set. I'll just move this over so you can see it a bit better there. You can use all of these dies together to make a beautiful little gift box, and it's a kind of a bobbin shape, but you'll see that as I go ahead and use it in a minute or two. But there are lots of pieces here that all work together, some beautiful little sewing themed, as it is called, Sew Crafty, some other little sewing themed elements in it. So we've got a little pin and needle and sewing machine, lots of pretty little buttons, scissors, a pin, a closed pin and an open pin, and then this mannequin and a little mannequin stand, and this is a little bobbin and a little coat hanger. And then these are the pieces that go together then to make up the actual bobbin itself. Not only do you get the die set, but you get this pretty little stamp set along with it. All these little sentiments and little tags and pieces that will fit, these ones will fit inside this little bobbin shape here. And then we've got So Happy for you to go together like needle and thread, and all sorts of little sentiments, and then to and from, which is always very handy, thanks, and handmade, that's always a very handy one as well. So we've got that, and we've got this beautiful stencil, and you can see there, I hope at least you can see, yeah, you can see it better now. It has a lovely edging on it at both ends here, and then beautiful patterns in between. So you'll be able to use those with inks or different mousses or things like that. Now the papers are absolutely beautiful, really good quality, but I also want to give you a little flick through them to let you see what's here. So I know you're probably tired of me saying this, but I absolutely love gingham paper, so I was delighted to see pink gingham. So they're double-sided, and you've got this beautiful stitched effect on the other side. Then we have this one, a lovely floral on the other side, polka dot, and lovely buttons, lovely colourful buttons. And this tiny little pattern, and a stitched check on the other side, green polka dots, and this. See, they're quite thick, and you would almost think there are two sheets there, but it's really good quality. And then this beautiful stitched effect here as well. And there we are, beautiful white with pink polka dot on it. And this beautiful tiny floral print on the other side. And then the same thing all over again. So there's plenty of papers there to play with. Now, I can't wait to get started, so I'm just going to go and die cut some, and I'll be right back and show you what I can make with it. On the instructions inside your die packet, it will tell you to cut out one of these, that's this one, and then take this long strip die and cut that out twice. So I've done that. Then you'll take this one and you'll need to cut that out twice, and then the large circle will need to be cut out 4 times. So you can probably see I've gone ahead with this one, and I've folded all these little glue tabs over, and first of all I'm just going to leave, I've actually folded them both over just to make sure that both ends are actually pliable and workable, but I'm leaving one set down first of all, and I'm going to go ahead with this one. So I'm taking one of the circles, and then I'm just going to slowly just take my time and add these pieces onto the top of that circle and hold them down until the glue grabs. I don't want to rush that, because if I do I'll move on round too quickly and some of them may not have taken yet, so I just want to make sure they're all held in place, and once one's held and grabbed, then you can do the next one. My camera actually stopped recording there in the middle of that, but I hope you saw that once I got the first couple of those started, I was able to set it down and then press that down on my worktop, and that held all those pieces in place for me. So now that I've got that circle done, I can take one of these and cover all those tabs up with it. and then I can make another one for the other end. For this little bit, I found that it works best if you just slightly shape it with your bone folder or something like that. A pair of scissors even would do, and then glue this little tab before you start. I just hold that in place as well and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Then you'll want to bring in this piece with the glue tab sitting up. This isn't the one that I've put the end on, but I'll come back and do that in a second or two when I finish this. So now I've got that nicely glued and in place. And what I want to do then is put glue all around at these glue tabs and keep them sitting up this time, because they're going to be grabbing onto this, so you'll want them to sit up so that they catch that. And there's a little bit there that I need to put more glue in. Right. It's actually very easy at this stage then, whoops, just to go in and pinch around there and make sure that this is all grabbing. And make sure it's all in the right place, because you can fit your finger in behind that very easily, and just slide all those pieces into place, and it will all come together very nicely and very tidily. So there we are. Now I just need to put my circle on top of here, and I've got 2 of these already ready to go. For the next piece then, I want to just shape this slightly, so I'll take my bone folder and give it a bit of a curve. Then you can just add some glue down here. Now I've glued that together, and you can see in there I have overlapped that just a slight little bit more than where that score line is. It's only about 1 millimeter, but I found it fitted in easier to here without sort of bending and crushing that, so it just fits in nice and snugly that way. And I'm going to add glue to the tabs at the bottom and glue that one in place, and then this one will become the little lid. Now I'm going to decorate this part of it. So what I've done is I have taken this little die, and it cuts out a beautiful little border, and you can see there's no cutting edge at the top of it, so you can actually cut that up and down the card wherever and have a long piece of card with this little border at the bottom. And I've just done it quite short up near the top of the card, and whenever I glue these in place I'm just going to put this around here, and that will be just in the right place. I don't want it to go up inside this at all, because then that would make that thicker. So we'll glue this on first. Now you can, well, I've added a little circle in here of green, and you don't actually need to do that, but I just thought it would look nice. So I'm now going to decorate this part and then the other part that's on the bottom that matches this. So first of all, I've taken some of this beautiful sweet pink crafter's ribbon. This is the 9mm wide one, and I've gone ahead and put some double-sided tape on the back of that, and this measures 21 centimeters. So I am going to just remove that tape backing and put this around the outside of my little bobbin top. Now for this piece then, I've taken these 2 dies together. So this one has cut out this white part already, and now I want to decorate that. So I've used the 2 of them together with some pistachio green card, and I've got this bit, and I'm going to glue the tab together here with the back of it, see, just there, and then I'm going to glue that on here, and that will all look really lovely. already gone ahead and done the bottom of it there as well, and I added a little circle down in there as well. That's from this one, and it's not really necessary, but I've done it anyhow and I thought it looked nice. So there we are, we've got the top and the bottom, the little lid and the bottom matching. So next of all I'm going to decorate this top part. So I've taken pistachio green again, and I have used these 3 dies together, and I've cut out this circle, and I want to put that on first, and then I'm going to add a little sewing machine onto the top of it as well. Now I've reserved the little circle that came out from the centre of that because I'm going to use that, but not just at the moment. Now I wanted to make a little sewing machine that would sit up, and I had to devise a little way of holding that up, but I think it has worked pretty well. So I've taken this little sewing machine die and I've cut it out 4 times, so 2 of it have been cut out in 300 GSM white card. Those are already glued together, and then I've cut it out in this beautiful patterned paper from this set here, and then I have cut it out on the reverse of this, so I have got one going the other way. So there's always a good side and a bad side, or a good side and a not so good side, should I say, to a die cut. So just to counteract that and make it not so noticeable, I actually just took a piece of copy paper, folded it in half and put this inside it and ran it through my die cutting machine, and that flattened the edge off, so this one looks perfectly good as well. And now what I'm going to do is glue the one on the front of these 2 thick ones already, and this on the back. But before I do that, I want to add the little piece that is going to hold this on here. Now I want to just make sure that's my back there where the ribbon joins, although I'll probably, you'll not notice that in a moment or two anyhow. But I've taken a little piece of white card, and this is 1.5 centimeters across the way here and 4 centimeters long. So there it is, and I have folded that in half, and then the 2 die cuts that are glued together, I've popped this over the top of the little bar that's at the bottom there, and just where the bottom of that, I should actually just put a piece of paper here so you maybe see this better. So I've taken my little strip of card and popped it over there, and then I want to hold that just as it is there and fold that piece back and that piece back like that. So we've essentially got a little stand for our sewing machine, but I want to put those on there, glue this on here and here before I add the other 2 pieces on. So I'm going to put glue inside these little tabs. Pop that over there and just hold that in place. Now you can see already, that's how that's going to work. This is going to sit up here. Now, if necessary, I think actually I might do this, just nip off those little corners there. You may not need to do that, but I'll just keep it tidier. And then I'll go ahead and glue these other pieces on, and that will give me my little pattern sewing machine on both sides. So now all I need to do is glue this in place and the little sewing machine will sit upright, and then we'll show you how to cover that in just a second. So I just need to put glue on here and here and pop that on. I'll let that grab for a moment. Now you see there, I'll just point it out with my pokey tool. There's where I nipped off those little corners, just so that this doesn't sit up over the top of that rim. Now for the circle that came out of the centre of this, I have folded it in half and cut it into 2 pieces, and now I'm going to glue those directly over there, and that covers all of that, and the little sewing machine sits up really nicely and really neatly. Now there's a beautiful little die that makes a three-dimensional flower, a beautiful little coiled flower, and I've gone ahead and I've put one on the back here, and I want to make a couple for here. So I have some here, but I'm going to show you how to make it. So first of all, the best thing to use for this is your quilling tool. This is a Craft Perfect quilling tool, and there's a thicker end and a thinner end, and I just use the thinner end here because I want the centre to be nice and close. And then we just start at the outside and coil around. Now what you need to do is just make sure that that stays fairly level at the bottom there as you're coiling it. It's not difficult, it's actually happens naturally anyway, but if you just coil it all around, and when you get to the end where this little circle is, slide it off very carefully so you're not bringing the centre out. And then we'll put some glue on here. Let it unravel just a little bit and hold that together, and you've got a beautiful little three-dimensional flower. I'm going to set that one over just to dry for a second or two, and I'll go ahead and use these two. These are the little dies that I've used to cut out all the other pieces that I'm going to decorate this with. So I've got the three little flowers, as you saw me already add some on here, and then I've got little leaves and the little butterfly, and I'm going to add those along in different parts here just to bring this all together. The little butterfly down here, and then the foliage coming from there. Now before I finish this one, I just want to say that although I've made this short, so that the original size that the die would make it, you could actually add two of these together and put a decorative panel or this border around the centre and make this any size you want, make it quite long or make it sort of an in-between size. So whatever size the gift is that you're going to put inside, or whatever you want in there, you could just make this the length of that to correspond with that. That's all the little pieces joined together and added on for detail there. And I've got flat flowers here and the little 3D ones there, and a little butterfly here, and then I added this little heart on to cover that join there, and the little butterfly at the back to cover the little join in the ribbon, and a couple of little ribbon tails on here. And just to finish that off, I've got some peach sorbet jewel drops, and I'm going to add them into the centre of these flowers. I wanted to keep this quite delicate, so I haven't gone for a different colour. Now I'm going to make a card. So I've got a 5x7 card blank. That's a Craft Perfect bright white card blank, and I've taken some Craft Perfect Blossom Pink card to go on top of that. I've cut that to 12 centimeters by 17, and I'm going to layer that on there with an 11.5 by 16.5 piece of the paper from this pack. That beautiful polka dot. So I'm enjoying these pinks and greens together, so I thought that went really well with this. I want a little background for that now, so I've taken the die that I used on the little spool. It's actually two dies together. It's more than half a circle there, so it's quite a bit bigger than a semicircle, and you'll see where you'll need to cut it off. But if you cut out two of those and lay them down where they overlap and make a circle, you can nip the ends off and then join them together, and you'll get this lovely circle. You'll probably still be able to see the joins, so what I'm going to do is set that on the card like so, and then these are the pieces that will be covered. So I'm going to glue that there, and then I'll come back in a minute or two and show you what else I'm going to do. Taken the little mannequin die and I've cut that out twice, so once in the blossom pink and once in this little floral pattern as well, and I'm going to just nip off round the neckline here and then glue this on top of the pink one. So just in a little curve like that, and then I'll glue it on here. Now I've taken another piece of the same paper and I've used that beautiful little border die on it. Now, if you remember, I told you when I made the other little spool that this doesn't have a top cutting edge on it, so you can cut it whatever length you want. So this time I have cut it 5 centimeters deep, but I've cut it 8.5 centimeters this way. And then what I did was I set it sort of centrally on top of this little mannequin, and I've made a little nick, not a nick, and nipped it in just at the waist there on both sides, made a little indentation in the paper, and then just folded slightly back, so that's about 0.5 centimeter, folded back there, and then I just made another one there and there, so you can feel when you put this on here that it's going to slide slightly below the waistline, nipped in on the top one if you can see it there, and then tuck the other one in just behind like that, and you'll get a lovely little dress with this beautiful little base on it. So hopefully you can see there what I've done. That's the little fold over first of all, so that one will sit out like a little pleat, and then the others will get tucked in behind, and I'm just going to secure that in behind with a little piece of double-sided tape. Just make sure I've got it back in the right place again. There we are. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue in here and here just to hold those. And now I've got a little piece of this sweet pink crafter's ribbon, and this is the 3mm one. I suppose I could have added the thicker one if I wanted, but this is quite a delicate little pattern, so I just wanted to add this across here and tuck it down in the back as well. So a little bit of glue along there, and that will cover that little seam, little join. If necessary, you could always add another little piece of double-sided tape at the back as well to hold that down. Now I'm going to add that onto the card, and that part will cover here, and then I'm going to add this little stand in below, so it will then look like this. And I don't want to flatten that down because a little bit of dimension on the card's nice like that, so I'll go ahead and glue that down. I glued another one of the little 3-dimensional roses on there with a little piece of ribbon in behind, just made 2 tiny tails from that, and I'll just move them around. So that looks really lovely there and gives another little bit of dimension. Then I've taken this little die and the one that fits inside it. So I've stamped this die that says handmade with love, and there's a selection of dies there, stamps there, sorry, that you could be using with this. So you could use the circle one or the tag one, or I just love the shape of this one. And I've stamped it in white, sorry, onto white card here, handmade with love. I've cut it out with this die, and then I have cut this die out with pistachio green card, backed those both together, and I've cut out a little pin from the die set as well, and then I've cut it out in silver, and I've added 3 three-dimensional foam pads onto the back, and I'm just going to glue that right across there. So that's nice and central. It also has a little bit of dimension, and it serves another purpose because it covers where the join is in this circle as well, and I think that's really, really pretty. Now I really, really wanted to try that stencil because it's really, really beautiful, and I thought rather than doing it on plain card or paper that I would try it on this beautiful gingham paper. So I've cut the gingham paper to 17 centimeters by 12, and I've got some of this glacier paste here. This one is called Frosted Petal, and I've taped this down, the stencil down here, and added the little magnets along the top, on top of my magnetic board to use for this, because the paper is actually cut really tight. I didn't want to sort of waste any of my paper and have it, you know, overhanging with the magnets holding it on outside and then cutting it off, because I really like the paper. So anyhow, with my little spatula, I'm now going to add this down over here and just be really careful up in those top areas. I'm not even sure if you can catch just how lovely that pattern turned out, but it's got a beautiful shimmer to it, and it's very, very subtle. Hopefully you'll catch it there. Very, very shiny and beautiful. Anyhow, I am going to put that onto this 5x7 card. So I've put some double-sided tape on the back here, just down both sides, and what I want to do is put some of this sweet pink 9mm ribbon across these panels here, just in these little sections that look like that would be nice. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 and 4 of those, and that's the reason why I've added this tape onto the back, because it's much easier if I put tape on there first and then I can line this up. I could have actually put those on with double-sided tape right across the front, but I wanted to leave them just a little bit loose to give dimension, and I added just a tiny drop of glue in the centre of each one to hold it in place as well, and I've glued this panel directly onto the card. And then I used this die and this one together with the Blossom Pink card, and I made the little sentiment with the other little sentiment die. That's this one in the lighter pink, and set it into the centre. And now I've got lots and lots of pieces cut out, so I want to place them on here. Lots of the elements from the card, and because this is made with love, I want to sort of add these on around here and balance them out. And you can see here I've cut some of these tiny little flowers. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. I set it on here, you might see it better. So I have die cut those, and then I have added some of the peach sorbet jewel drops onto the top and given them a lovely glossy finish. Now, I could have used Morning Dew and that would have been clear and it would have been lovely as well, but I wanted to add a little bit of colour as well, just a hint, because those dry translucent and there's a little hint of colour in them, and it's really, really pretty on that patterned paper as well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sort the placement of this out and glue it all down. Finished that one now, and I think it turned out really well. That's actually not my usual type of card at all, because I don't really scatter elements around, but as you can see I've kind of grouped them, but I like it, so I might do more of that again. And then I'll come back to this one. I have added little flowers and leaves on here, and some of the little jewel drops again, and that's me. I like to keep everything coordinated and all of the same kind of colours in my samples. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I've really loved it. I have 2 cards and I have this beautiful little sewing machine, spool, gift box, whatever. There it is. And there's actually a lot more you could do with that. It's the kind of die set, and the papers actually are so beautiful. It's got a cottagey, home cottagey kind of feel to it. So anyone who loves homemade stuff will just absolutely love that. But don't forget as well, I always say this, or I always mean to say this, whenever your papers are done, don't forget that you can use all those dies and the stencil and the stamps with all sorts of different colours as well. You don't have to just stick to what's in that pack. Anyhow, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for watching to the end if you're still here. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and to come back and see more soon. I will have all my affiliate links to these products down in the description just below the video, and I do really appreciate everyone who uses those as well. I get a little commission from it, but it doesn't cost anything extra to you. So thanks very much again for all of that, and hope to see you soon. In the meantime, happy crafting and bye bye.